Is up? Welcome back to the hashtag Lockboss Show and Giveaway. My name is PJ, and of course, we're going to be having quite a bit of fun today. Not only are we going to be going over the comment of the week, announce this week's 5 lucky winners, we're going to have the Paclock Prez Greg on here in just a few minutes talking about one of their new products. Now, not only their new products, but really anything else that you would like to talk about. Now, of course, before we do that, I'm going to crack open a Topo Chico. Now, I do have to admit this one is spiked with a little pina colada zip fizz, all right? So cheers to you out there as well. Drinking a Topo or your favorite beverage of choice. So cheers to you. All right, good stuff. Now, before we hop into it, one other order of business, and that is making sure you all have the link to the after party. So I'm going to post that in there. This is the link to the after party. Now, this is on Jimmy J's, aka Iowa Lock Docs Discord, and if you want, go ahead and check in after the live stream here. And there's several of us go and we just hang out there afterwards, maybe talking about the show, maybe talking about really, I don't know, a little bit of anything. I can probably bet you will have a little bit, just a little bit of discussion about the F1 race in Australia last week, because, you know, Jimmy J and myself and a few others are fans, and we like to chat about it. So make sure, if you want to come hang out with us and talk a little bit about everything, you come over to the after party over there on Discord. So, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into today's show. And well, hey, let's go ahead and let's start right in with Paclock Prez Greg. So Greg, how's it going?
Going really good, PJ. Thanks. And I appreciate you having me on for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Very happy to. So, hey, let's go and let's hop into it a little bit now. Just as kind of gauging from the comments here, most, if not everybody, knows who Paclock is. But if they don't, could you give us just a couple second fill in?
Sure. So Pacific Lock Company, otherwise known as Paclock, you know, we're a U.S. manufacturer bringing some components from overseas. But as you can see behind me, I'm sitting in front of one of our machines that's manufacturing padlocks right now. We do a lot of our manufacturing here in the States. The shortest and easiest way to think about it is just we're the new American lock. If you remember American locks from 20, 30 years ago, the go-to for locksmiths, in my opinion, we're taking over from where they've left off ever since Master Lock bought them. So good quality, friendly company to work with, products you can count on, and just customer service you can count on. Along with just a humongous variety of products to pick from and growing. We're not cutting products out like a lot of companies. We're growing. So both on the mechanical side and with, you know, what the focus is today in terms of the electronic access control and Pac Blue.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, what is it like? You know, I'm just kind of curious on being doing a lot of manufacturing in the USA for padlocks, something that is a very strong imported type thing, right? I mean, I'm not quite sure how many of off the top of my head, how many of the type of Paclock companies exist, but I know for sure there's not many. So, I mean, what is it like doing, you know, most of the work in America?
Yeah, it's hard, right? Without question, it's hard. I don't come from this industry. You know, I'm not a locksmith by any stretch of the imagination. I came from the military, electrical engineering. I was doing a lot of high-end network engineering, got my MBA. It was my father-in-law's business that really didn't do all that well, and everything came in from overseas back then. We're talking 2005. So 2009, decided to buy our first CNC machine, decided we need to start making more of our products, really any of our products here in the States, for a couple of reasons. But from that, it's just quickly grown, and it's given us flexibility. We can innovate. We can come out with new products to solve problems for people that you otherwise can't. But there's no question about it. It's hard. And when you ask how many other manufacturers are out there? I mean, in the States at this point, I think the answer now is one, since Masterlock has officially shut all of their operations down in America. They're gone. So you're left with myself, Pacific Lock Company, and Wilson Bohannon, right? Another good family business making brass padlocks. But that, as far as I know, is it for the United States. And when you look in the world, yeah, there's a lot of, we'll just call it low-end, Dollar General store padlock manufacturers. There are, where they're selling you a $2 padlock that really isn't flexible and you can't do a lot with it. There's a lot of those. But if you're starting to talk more, kind of higher capability, rekeyable, there's maybe 4 or 5 of us left in the world, I would guess, realistically.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, of course, as what we can see kind of behind you there is we see a robot that seems to be kind of waiting. And so, I mean, you really have quite the operation around there with, looks like, do I see a Haas logo kind of above you there?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, so, I mean, you guys really heavily invested in equipment and automation and are really just, I don't know, like I was saying, doing something that a lot of companies making padlocks are not doing. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, it's pretty cool.
Oh, appreciate it.
So something I want to bring up really quick that as we were kind of talking, I was looking at the comments here is, I don't know if a company has ever in the lock sport community has ever been as loved as Paclock is with the 90 A Pro.
Yeah. The 200K club, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's really quite the thing, so pretty cool.
Well, there's a long history there for me. I remember when I first joined this industry in 2005, a gentleman named Mark Tobias, who's still in the industry, still does a lot, pretty famous picker. He called me up talking about things, and I'm learning at that point. And what I was learning is that most manufacturers are just deathly afraid of this lock sport community. Last thing they want people to know is how to break into their padlock. And I get it. If I want to call myself a high security lock manufacturer, I need people to believe that. And if you've got guys walking around with a comb, or a big pen cap, they can get into my padlock. Am I really a high security? And now everything I built just goes away in a day, especially with social media. Whereas I think with Pacific Lock, we recognize that we have good quality products. We really do. And I will consider our UCS cylinder to be a high security cylinder in the idea of call it Medico or a multi-lock or an ASA or an Abloy. But certainly when you compare us to our competition, ABA, Masterlock, the others, yeah, I think we're a good quality product and tough to pick. And I think we've proven that. So let's go. I know what we are. I know what we can do. I know we can fend off most people. And when you add in that 7th pin on the 200K cylinder we have, yeah, it's a pretty good challenge is what it seems like.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I mean, yeah, I think it's something, like you see a lot in the hardware or in the software industry, right? That companies, they kind of want, in a lot of ways, a lot of times they'll give you a fee if you can, hack their stuff or whatever it might be. And it's just in, general thing of transparency of, vulnerabilities. And that's something that in the physical world, in the world kind of we live in, it's starting to become more of a thing, right? Where just knowing the bounds of the security is probably just as important as the actual security of it, right? So, I think it's really cool, Greg. That's something that I don't know. You just don't see companies in our security industry do like that. So really cool. But
and we learn a lot from it too. I apologize. We learn as well, and not to mention there's good marketing there for us, right? I'm always transparent. Yeah, it helps us. It's helping us grow the company, whether it's one padlock at a time or not. But that good feedback that customers know they can call us. I mean, they can reach out to me with the bat signal that, hey, Pac Prez, we got a question, right? I'll be there. I'll help out. And where can you find that really anywhere else in our industry at this point?
Absolutely. Well, hey, so I want to shift gears a little bit, not from, padlocks of what we've been kind of talking about, but to something new that Paclock has been doing for a while now, which is Pac Blue, right? And I actually have this kit here, which is a demo kit of it. And I just want to open it up and I want to show the actual item that we're talking about, because when you see it in a photo, right, sometimes it's hard to understand the size of it. And is what I'm talking about here is, what is that? 1, 2, 2.5, 3 inches by 3 inches, something like that.
Right.
Little unit here. Now this is it's an access control module that uses Bluetooth.
Yes.
And I'll kind of want to first start by just kind of asking you, like what was the moment that you're like, boom, you know what, we need to create something like this?
I wish I could say it was a moment. There was someone that approached me to trade shows 7 years ago, who I've since parted ways with, ended up being a bit unscrupulous. And I took a lot of my ideas and ran off with it when we had this handshake deal. At least I thought we had a handshake deal. But it was more, instead of how do we put Bluetooth keyless security into a padlock, which is really, really hard. I mean, there are solutions out there. Paclock is working on that. How do we get Bluetooth to solve problems for customers? And the biggest problem that we ran into at that point was in the telecom industry. In the telecom world, they've got these cabinets out on the street, tens of thousands of them, that get broken into. But when I say broken into, it's not that someone has a pry bar. It's because someone has the key that opens all of them, because they're all on one key, right? So I go out there, I look like I belong. I've got the cones set up. I open up the cabinet, but instead of stealing the equipment, I'm stealing the batteries that are in it. And I'm stealing the batteries because I can pull them out on the street, take my drill, drain out the acid, and now I'm stealing the lead from these batteries, and I'm getting 40, 50 bucks out of it. And you say, well, Greg, it's not a lot of money. Well, that's not necessarily happening here in the United States. That's happening down in Mexico. And that 40 or 50 or 80 bucks a pop ends up being a good amount of money. So in Mexico, they were having a lot of this theft that they wanted to start controlling. So they didn't necessarily need a Bluetooth controlled padlock. They need a more affordable, Bluetooth controlled, easier to use, easier to set up system than what the industry was offering them today. And so that's where we developed this board and this system, was to really hit that notch, right? A much easier development, a much lower cost all around for everybody. And that was the impetus for Pac Blue.
Okay. Yeah. And so I just want to try to explain it as simply as I can. And then I want you to let me know how I did. Okay. So essentially, let me take off the cover here. You can kind of see what's going on in here. And essentially is what this is you can take an electric strike. Okay. Or in this, I think this is a mag here. And is what you can do is you wire the electric strike into the Pac Blue. It's pretty simple, a couple wires here. And then you can take for the power source, and you literally just use let me grab it out of the case here.
Oh, you need 2 hands to lift that. Oh, that power supply is so big and heavy.
Yeah, it's so heavy, right? This power supply here, also known as a plug in the wall.
Right.
And you plug these 2 things together, and then now through an app on your phone, you have access control, right?
Access control that is really crazy easy to set up with a lot of redundancy built in, and not just any ability. That little board in your hand, I contend, is more powerful and more capable than any other access control system in the world. It can run electric strikes, mag locks, like you said, drop bolts, solenoids, sure, but it can run DC motors forwards and backwards inherently right out of the board. I don't know of another access control system that can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Now I'm going to try to here. Let me do this here. Something cool I really like on this, and maybe you can talk about the different applications here, is you have this extra unit that you can get. Let me pop this off here. For a battery,
we call that the TFB. It's a tri-function button or box. But yes, there's your 9-volt battery backup. I'm not a fan of having an SLA, 7 milliamp hour battery inside that after a year or 2 is dead and it doesn't work anymore. And when your power's out to your building, you can't get it. Everyone can get to a 9-volt battery. You mount that outside the door. It comes with the kit. It's got a surface mount capability. And oh, by the way, even if someone breaks into that little front thing, none of the wires there control the actual electric strike or the maglock. There are other products on the market that do. I mean, the brains are on the outside where you can break off the cover and then you're just hot wiring. With ours, you can break that all you want. All that does is power the unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's your backup. Or if you're in places where you don't have AC power at all. Think of you have a barn in your backyard that has no power. No problem. Install Pac Blue, and you can use the battery to get into it every time you go out there.
Exactly, right? And so it's what I did here on my phone. So I have the Pac Blue app here, right? By powering it with this battery here, and I put it on, I just hit the unlock button. I don't know if you could hear that or not.
I could hear it. Yep, I heard it.
Right, you see it open up, which is part of this demo kit, right? Now,
right.
The cool part about this demo kit here that you have, these two different items, is that Greg and his team actually sent us two of them. I have this one here, and they also sent us another one that we're going to be giving away for free to someone watching live. So this is what you need to do if you want to win the free kit here. That send us an email to sales@CLKsupplies.com, and in the title put Pac Blue. Okay, put Pac Blue in the title, and we'll randomly select one winner to get this set up for free. All right. So Greg, thank you for sending it and being able, us being able to give one away. So that's really awesome.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. And the way we build these kits is I don't like displays that just sit somewhere and that don't do anything, right? We wanted to keep it compact. We want to make it so that, locksmiths, especially that might have a retail store, you can put this right on the counter. It's small. When someone walks in, you can demo it in 5 seconds to them or in 30 seconds. You don't have to walk them somewhere else. So, and they're smart. They're smart little things. You can carry them with you and take it somewhere to show somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think something that's cool about this. So like you have a customer, maybe you're at the, as someone who do locksmithing work for my dad, who still is a locksmith. He has 3 stores. And, the thing is that a lot of times you'll be at a customer's and they'll be starting to ask you random questions, right? About, this or that, what they've seen or whatever. And being able to quickly, as easily, just like I did here on live, is pop in a battery, show them what that looks like is pretty awesome. Right?
Pretty awesome.
It's really pretty awesome.
It makes money, right? It makes money.
And it makes money, right? And something I have to say, when I was talking with your guys here, here's the power. By the way, when you get these units here, there's a really cool 3D printed setups. I mean, whoever designed this, Greg, by the way, did a fantastic job.
I appreciate that. I'll let the guys know.
If you want to not use the battery and use the power supply, it's actually just sitting right here. All you have to do is just pull it out and plug it in. So that's all. That's all you have to do. Greg, I went to public school, and so like that took me a phone call to figure out. But there you go, it's free right here. Just
funny.
But
funny.
And of course you have a little button put in here and the whole thing. So it's really an awesome unit.
Yeah, the idea with the button on the back is so that you can use this unit. It has, we call it the manual unlock. But imagine you have this on your storefront. And people leaving, you don't want them to use the app to leave. So if you got your light bar sensor, right, the sensor up top, you can wire that into Pac Blue, no problem. And when people walk out, that light bar triggers, it'll open up, the doors open up. So we're just trying to simulate that for you by just putting a button on the back.
Yes. Okay. That's cool. So I want to talk about a few more things about it. And then I want to definitely hit any points that I've missed that you'd like to talk about. So with this unit here, right? Like the point is that you have a customer that needs really just an access control system. By just using this box here and wiring it in, plugging it into the wall with the power supply, it's done, right?
You're done, right?
It's pretty simple. Now I want to talk about the costs on this and just kind of go full circle here. So there's this unit that, just for the sake of the video, I'll say is $400. Around
rough guess, because I never am perfect at pricing, so that sounds good. But let's say for around $400 retail price, right?
Yep, retail price. Now, on top of this, okay, so essentially is what you would need to get the job done would be an electric strike and this unit here, right? And you'll essentially plus your labor and all of that. So it's pretty easy to have a Bluetooth enabled electric strike for under $1,000. Definitely the person's cost, the installer's cost under $1,000. I mean, really, probably, I don't know, let's call it 500-ish, right?
Probably, right.
which is pretty cool. Now, there's a couple other things, though, that come with this whole thing here, which is, let me pull it up. I don't have it memorized, Greg. Forgive me here.
Okay. Sure.
Perfect. All right. So on top of that, there is a one-time setup fee, which is going to be $60. Now, I want to talk about that for a minute, which is, so to set up the company account is going to be a $60 one-time fee.
It might be a little bit more. I can't remember. I think $60 is more the yearly kind of subscription warranty fee per device. I want to say 175. Let me text my team while we're doing this.
Oh, I wonder if I mixed my pricing up here. I thought so I had it as the yearly fee of 125, one-time setup is 60.
Oh yeah, I think it's flipped around then, PJ. Yeah, I think it's flipped around.
Oh, did I flip those two?
Yep. I think it's flipped around. 125 would be the setup, that one-time fee. And that's, yeah, so we can build the company. It does take time to build that because we're building everyone their own environment within the cloud. So there's work that happens there. And also just making sure that, if we don't charge anything, which I'd love to do, I can imagine us getting in, hey, Greg, can you send me 40 accounts today? Set me up 60 accounts tomorrow. And they don't use but 2 of them. So there's a little bit of that going on as well, to be totally transparent. And then, that $60 a year fee is per device, per board. Unlimited users, unlimited e-keys. We built this system to be enterprise level, thousands and thousands of users with thousands of devices, thousands of e-keys. But what we're learning now as we are deploying it and selling it is this thing is more than ideal for a one shop. I need a front door done. I need the back door done. And this thing is just awesome. Now, I see a red light just popped on. This guy's been running for days and no problem. He stopped for some reason. We'll check him out later, though. Oh. All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah. So, thank you for clarifying. I see some people in the comments clarifying that as well. Yeah. So, perfect. Okay. So, it's a $125 setup fee and then $60 per unit a year. Yes. And if we could, I just want to kind of talk through just a little bit about what that looks like in the real world. So let's say we're watching this as a customer, they find a good fit for it. The customer wants to go ahead. They get through they buy it. They pay the $125 one-time setup fee, which of course they would pass along or add on for the customer. And then it comes into the $60 per year. Now, is this something that essentially the locksmith who set it up, they're going to actually get that bill and then they would charge $100 a year, what they would want to the customer? Or is this something that you're going to charge the actual end user?
No, the goal is we want the installer, the locksmith, to help us support the system because we didn't install it. So I don't know, did they hook it up to a drop bolt? Did they hook it up to an E-Strike, maglock? I don't know how they did it. So we always want that first phone call with a problem from the customer. We want it to go to the installer, that locksmith. Yep. And so the idea there then is, I think that $60 a year is the retail price. So the locksmith will be getting a discount off of that when we send the bill to the locksmith. They, like you say, can charge 100, 120, whatever they feel comfortable doing. But I want the installer to be getting that recurring revenue as well. So the more I install, the more I'm getting on a yearly basis as an installer. And it also incentivizes me to do a great job. Because if I'm not doing a great job with my wiring, I'm not doing a great job with my connections, and I'm constantly having to go back to figure out what's wrong with what I'm doing, I'm not making the money I want to make. But if I'm doing a great job and I don't get phone calls, now you're making the money, right? So we want the locksmith to get a piece of that. We, through our system, through the cloud, will help manage all of that billing for each installer, right? They'll have their separate portal they can get into. It's going to show them all their customers. They can hop in. They can send a bill out directly from our system, or they can generate an invoice on their own. But it will help them understand when it's time to go after a customer and get paid.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thanks for explaining that. I wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page as far as kind of what that looked like, right? And what that looks like is that it's set up to where the installer has the opportunity to have yearly reoccurring revenue as they continue to support that customer. at the same time, where PAC, you guys are going to be handling a lot of all, making sure everything's working, right?
Right.
Perfect.
Right. And on top of that, to hopefully make things easier, if you go to your app, PJ, in there's a button that you click that on the top left should be a menu button. And then when you hit that, bring it down, you'll see, I can't remember, troubleshooting or support. I think it says support.
Support. Yep.
Hit that. Right. And our years of experience of selling this kind of in the back doors, not many people seeing it. We would get phone calls, right? Exactly right there. So customer calls you up, says, hey, I can't get in my door. It's not working. What's going on with Pac Blue or your system? You tell the customer, hey, please, would you go to the support function within the app? It gives them some basic stuff, turn your Bluetooth on and off, reboot your phone, all the basic. And they're always going to say, oh, PJ, I turned it off. I turned my Bluetooth off and on. It's good. That's not my problem, right? You always hear that. Yeah. Well, then go ahead and swipe to the right. It tells you if you've done all this on the app, swipe to the right, I think, right?
Yep.
Doesn't say swipe to the right?
Swipe to the left. Yep.
Sorry, swipe left. Yep. So when you swipe left, now it's telling the consumer, right? The person you're on the phone with supporting, hey, we're going to collect a bunch of information off of your phone specifically to support you with your problem. We're not going to sell it to the Chinese. We're using it to support you. Okay. And when you click submit ticket at the bottom,
yep,
our apps then is going in, it's grabbing what type of phone you're on, what iOS it's on, last time you updated it, what devices anywhere it can see that are Pac Blue, whether you have a valid key or not. It's gathering GPS locations, it's gathering all that information, and then it submits it up to the cloud. Now, you as their installer can now hop into your computer, and you can see that support ticket show up. You can look at it, and you can say, hey, you know what, Freddie? You're at the wrong building, man. You told me you're at building 20, but you want to get into building 30. Dude, you're on the other side of the park. I can see it here. You're in the wrong place, man. Or, hey, your Bluetooth's turned off. Turn your Bluetooth on.
Yeah.
And our experience has been that solves 98% of the problems. It's just kind of silly mistakes like that. But we built that in to make it easier for the locksmith to support their customers.
Gotcha.
I don't know if anyone else has done something like that.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. As a matter of fact, I just submitted a support ticket. So
yeah, great. So later on, you can hop online, hop in, and you can go see your support ticket.
Yep. Yeah. And so there's this app, that's customer facing, but of course there's a desktop version that you log into that you'll be able to see all of that.
Yeah. So the way it breaks out is the app is what you use if I have installer privileges to install the device. That's right. Configure it to be an electromagnetic lock, a DC motor, a drop bolt, whatever you might want. When I tell you to unlock, I want you to unlock for 5 seconds and then relock, or I want you to relock on a sensor, like on the door you have right there, the display. Yep. That, and then the users will use the app, and that's all that users use is the app. The management of the system from a high-level perspective, creating your users, creating device groups, building your e-keys, assigning e-keys, all of that's done on the web, all right? Because again, we built this for thousands and thousands of users. Do you want to be on your phone trying to issue an e-key to thousands of users? That seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's great. Let's see here. Let me, I see we have someone from your team in the chat answering.
Yeah, it looks like they're in there helping us out. Someone asked about,
yeah,
hey, what happens if there's no cell phone service? Right. If we will allow you as the system administrator for your company, right? Each company is independent. If you want the ability for your employees to unlock or get into a door in an offline mode, no cell service, no Wi-Fi, you can do it. The trouble when you do that, though, is, right, you don't have that real-time access control anymore because now you're in Wi-Fi. You're in Timbuktu. You need that capability, and that's okay. But if you're saying, hey, Greg, every door I have is always within Wi-Fi, it's always within cell, I want real-time, you don't enable that offline access. So we can work in either scenario, and we give the flexibility to the installer to work with their client to figure out what the best setup is for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Question on here from Turnkey Locksmith. What's up? Let me put up here. Says, this has probably been explained, but what about power outages?
Yeah. So that's, again, what we call the TFB. That's the 9-volt battery in the front that, that's how you get in if there's a power outage. You mount that. It comes with the unit, comes with the kit.
Yeah. So is what you're saying is that in situations where you want a battery backup, it comes with a kit, and you would just install this somewhere that people could hook up a battery to get in.
Sure. If someone wants to use an SLA battery, again, our system has 2 discrete inputs. Both of them can work anywhere from 6 volts up to 12 volts, supports up to 3 amps. So if you said, hey, Greg, I want to hook up 110 into both, well, it won't be 110. You have 2 power adapters dropping it down to 12 volts. But you can decide if you want to use 2 different batteries. You want to use our TFB on the front and a battery on the inside. Okay, I just don't trust SLA batteries that someone mounted up in a box somewhere that's been sitting there for 3 years, because those SLA batteries die over time. And now when you really need it, because your power's out, you can't get in because the battery on the inside's dead. I like this concept of having a 9-volt terminal out on the outside of the building, that if my power is out to the building, and that's what we're doing here, I can plug a 9-volt battery in and I'm good to go.
Perfect. Adrian, what is up? He says, what about secondary input device other than Bluetooth?
Mm-hmm. So right now it's purely Bluetooth, because the customer that we worked with to initially design that's all they wanted. They wanted to keep costs down. They didn't need Wi-Fi. They didn't want cellular. They didn't want to work any other formats or technologies. What I will tell you, though, is we are working on the ability to start having a board that's got Wi-Fi for cellular. It'll cost more. And if you're looking to go cellular, obviously you'll start paying a monthly fee for that cellular capability. Also, we're working on the ability to retrofit existing Pac Blue that are only Bluetooth. Right now, we're working on a technology where you can buy in essence, a Wi-Fi gateway. Wi-Fi on one side, our Bluetooth on the other. So now you would be able to remotely work with these Bluetooth only devices. So we have a lot of things in the works. We do. We listen to the customers. What do you need to work on it?
Sure. And I mean, and also, what would it look like to have, could you wire in a keypad?
Mm-hmm. Not today. I'm not a fan of keypads, not a fan of NFC cards. I just fob. The whole idea when I built this was, I want to know when someone comes into my shop or goes into my storage unit, I know who did it. The moment you give them a key override, a fob, a little card, now all of a sudden, if someone wants to steal from me, they can steal from me, and I don't know who did it because they used the key override. So we are begrudgingly working on fobs, because there are just people saying, Greg, darn it, I love the technology, but my solution needs to be able to support fobs. So we are also working in that direction. We're dumbing down the system, if you will, from my perspective. Awesome.
Very cool. So what did I hear? You know what? Maybe let's do one more. If you have time, sure. Let's do one more really quick here. From George. I know George is very knowledgeable, and I've been seeing him asking a lot of questions in here. But he says, how often does the user need to log into the app to access the door? Do they need to do a credential refresh for each entry? Great. So I'm giving you, the installer, the power to decide what's going to happen. What I mean by that is, by default, when I set up your company or your customer's company, offline mode is deactivated, which means every time I go to this door to unlock with my phone has no e-keys downloaded to it. It's one of the ways we maintain our security, and I think we've got the most secure system out there. We've done pen tests on it. There are no e-keys on my phone. My phone is dumb. All it is a conduit from the board up to the cloud with a secure pipeline between and through the phone. So there are no e-keys. So when I go to unlock that door, literally that box in front of you is communicating with the cloud directly through my phone. The phone has no idea what's going on to say, yes, let me in, or don't let me in, right? So from that perspective, there is no refreshing, because the board is directly communicating with the cloud every single time. And that's the best way, because if I want to fire you, if you find out I'm going to fire you ahead of time, you put your phone in offline mode. If the e-keys are downloaded to your phone and you go into offline mode, and then I fire you out of the system, how does the system say, hey, you shouldn't have your e-keys anymore, right? You're in offline mode. Yeah. Now, getting to offline mode, if your company allows you offline mode because you do have facilities that are in Timbuktu, no Wi-Fi, no cellular, we then give the installer the ability to say, how long are those e-keys valid for in the phone? 4 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, right? And so if you say, hey, Greg, I'm comfortable with 12 hours, all of my users within 12 hours should get back into Wi-Fi coverage, get back into cellular coverage, to where it's automatically going to refresh their keys.
if someone's outside of coverage, have their phone in offline mode for more than 12 hours, and then they try and get into the system, it's going to give them an error message saying, no, no, no. Your company administrator says every 12 hours, you need to refresh, and you are outside that window now. Go outside, go connect. So the power to decide how often to refresh, we've left it up to the installer.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's a lot of, there's flexibility there, but the installer is going to be the one based on what the customer wants to set those parameters.
And I would say that's a big part of Paclock in what we do and why we built Pac Blue the way we did. I look at it as an Adreno board on steroids. We have given this community a tremendously capable, extremely flexible system to go out and kick the living crap out of access control. You want to install 1 unit, 10 units, 1,000 units, that guy can do it, and he'll do whatever you want. And if he can't do what you want, especially from a software perspective, call us, let us know. Every line of code on the firmware for the board, on the app, and in the cloud was written by Americans here in America by Pacific Lock Company, right? We didn't outsource any of the coding to anywhere. It's all built by us. So if we've got a bug, we'll fix it within a couple of days. If there's a feature request you want, and we know a lot of people want it, we'll get it built in a week or 2 weeks. This is not a situation where you're calling a conglomeration that good luck getting them to add something in that your customer really wants to see.
Sure. That's very cool. Very cool, Greg. Well, and then I guess lastly, when it comes to, for those of you who have joined since I first talked about it, this right here is the Pac Blue demo kit. It comes with these couple units where you can play around. You can see I have this one connected to my phone via battery, actually, right here. Greg has actually given us, and his team has given us another one to give away for free. So all you have to do is email us at sales@CLKsupplies.com and put in the title Pac Blue. And tomorrow at noon Pacific, we will auto select a random winner that will get this whole setup, which is pretty awesome. Greg, what's the dollar? Is there a dollar value to this kit? How much is it?
There is $1,200. I mean, it's a $1,200 retail value on it. Yeah. So when we're doing classes for Aloha, and we're working on all that now, if you sign up for a class through those trade shows, we severely discount it for the class. But yes, $1,200 for that kit is what the retail price is on it.
Very awesome. So if you're looking to get one, and this is the couple displays you get with it, pretty awesome. Really cool units, easy to understand. And yeah, you can have one for free. So yeah, Greg, once again, thank you for sending not only this one for us here, but also allowing us to give one away. Very, very cool of you. So
well, let me do this also, right? Let me do this. Anyone that's on the show right now, that's listening, that's watching, I don't know if they can email you by that same time frame, for $500. If they want to buy a kit, we won't give them all away for free. But, hey, for $500, anyone that writes to you, let us know. We'll sell them a demo kit for $500.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Man, good stuff, Greg. I really appreciate it. It's fun not only talking about this, but just your padlocks in general and the 98 Pro and all that. So
yeah,
listen, I really appreciate, as everyone knows, we've been selling the Pac Blue Lockboy padlocks from Paclock and stuff. And so, yeah, Greg, hopefully over time, we'll start stocking more of your padlocks as well. So,
looking forward to it. Really do.
It's really good. But thanks again, Greg, for coming on. And by the way, probably the coolest background setup we've ever had,
Bad robot, but I got to tell Bad Robot something happened. I got to figure out what he did. Oh, he says he has a broken tool, right? So we monitor everything because he runs on his own. He's telling me right now he thinks he has a broken tool. So I got to figure out what's going on.
Very good, Greg. Well, perfect. Well, I will let you go. Thanks once again for coming on, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Thanks, Greg. We'll see you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. How cool is that? Really awesome unit here, and make sure you email over to us for your chance to win one of these demo kits. Really awesome, and of course, we would like to know what you think, whether you're watching this live or after live. Okay, you can email us at sales@CLKsupplies.com in the title, put Pac Blue. We'll pick a winner 12 noon Pacific time tomorrow. So go ahead and do that and check it out. But of course, in the comments, let Greg know, let Greg's team know, let us know what you're thinking about the Pac Blue, questions you have. And yeah, it's good stuff. And of course, we have the listing up on CLK Supplies website where you can buy the Pac Blue unit. So with that being said, Julio, go ahead. Let's put on a little bit of music or something. And let's go over the, let's go over the post of the week. But let's first actually, let me read the post of the week before your music, Julio. I can't do two things at once. But all right, here we go. Here is the comment of the week. Comes from Almost Homesteading. Here we go. They say, I tried to buy an existing lock shop business with a similar mobile van setup several years ago. I wish I had these videos and the wisdom of both the OG Lockboss and PJ back then. The bank could not find the value in the assets and passed me over on a loan. I ended up building up a very small part-time mobile operation for several years before selling that to someone on the other side of the continent. I've just recently started to spin up another small rural part-time mobile version and use CLK for a lot of inventory. Great video series. Well, hey, first of all, thank you very much for the business that you give us. Really appreciate it. And thank you for the comment. And, one other quick thing that I just wanted to bring up really quick, something really cool, and the first ever that we know of, but one of the businesses that we featured in the Locksmith Businesses for Sale has recently been purchased. How cool is that? Now, how I know this is that person who is interested in it reached out to us. I connected into the Lockfather. They had spoken, they talked a few times, and anyways, he ended up buying it and is now the owner of the lock shop. So I would love at some point to circle back around and talk to them about that whole thing. But anyways, pretty cool stuff, I tell you. Okay, and it looks like Julio has music going on here, which means that I guess it is time to announce this week's 5 lucky winners. So here we go. Now, before we announce the winners, let's make sure we all get on the same page on what to do if you win. You want to email us your shipping info to sales@clksupplies.com or call us today, 100-848-6989, and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. No purchase necessary. All right. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and announce the winners. And it's an interesting choice of music here. It's a little, it distracts me a little bit, but I'm going to power through it. All right. I'm going to power through it. All right. Here we go. Winner number 1 this week is Iceman 0003. Congratulations. Winner number 2 this week is Brian Lynch 9360. Congrats. Winner number 3 is Curto Lock and Key. Congratulations. Winner number 4 is Sharkman 4928. Congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Lowell Forbes 3208. Congratulations, Lowell. Good stuff there. Now, of course, we have our get a free mystery hat with any purchase over $150. Add to cart for offer. As a matter of fact, that's our free shipping terms as well. So not only do you get free shipping, you also get a free mystery hat if you add it to your cart. And yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, that is our show this week. How about that, man? What a great show. Great having Greg with Paclock on. And man, really enjoyed it. I love seeing that robot in the back too, Really, really like it. You know what, George? I didn't tell Greg about the Paclock cutaway locks. I should have brought that up. Those things have been flying off the shelf. Been pretty awesome there. Pretty awesome. But all right, well, I tell you what, that's the show this week. Couple things before I leave you here. Number one, if you're interested in winning a free Paclock demo kit, let me open it up here for you. Let me show you here really quick. So it comes with this little cutaway, kind of gives you the instructions, and then it has a couple of the power supplies up here. There's a little mag thing here, the battery there, and then a place for these 2 units. Let me see if I can put it in here while I'm talking. Let's see if I can do it. All right, here we go. Put the battery. Boom, just like that. So that's what it's going to look like when you get it there. Pretty cool, pretty professional, and it's kind of fun to play with too. Honestly, I think if you're anything like me, you'll enjoy playing with it. But all right, so we have that going on. So make sure you email us, sales@CLKsupplies.com. Put in Pac Blue in the title there. Noon Pacific tomorrow. We'll choose a winner, and then of course we'll contact you and announce it. And make sure, if you want, look in the notes here. Look in the chats. It's not the notes, it's the chats. Come on now, Julio. So with that, look in there. You'll find a link to the Discord for the after party. If you want to come hang out for a little bit, talk a little bit of about this and a little bit of that, that's going to be your place in the after party on Jimmy J's Discord. So go ahead and we'll see you there if you'd like. Otherwise, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you stay safe out there. And of course, we'll see you same time, same place next week. And then I'll tell you what, we're going to have the Lockfather on next week. So that should be a lot of fun as well. So anyways, all right, everybody. We'll see you. Have a good one.